Eyeware is a Swiss-based startup that develops eye tracking software for consumer-based cameras. My role there was as a growth manager. I was responsible for the entire sales cycle, even from finding an attractive market to sell into, all the way to closing, and then account management and renewals. So before we started with you guys, it was good, but we wanted to leverage our small team to do much bigger things. I mean, we had an SDR that was pulling in meetings at a fair rate, but we just wanted to accelerate this. So we were also selling into various markets, which multiplied the work of the SDR. Although I think we certainly did a good job, we did not have a dedicated team of lead gen experts that were solely focused on outbound processing. We simply wanted to scale up the number of conversations we were having. And we didn't necessarily want to hire and train a new SDR, which would have taken quite a long time, considering that our tech was pretty complicated. And we very simply just wanted more conversations, more calls. I mean, as you mentioned, our tech was quite novel, was a quite novel solution. And we were approaching new industries with unproven use cases. I think the fact that the thought of hiring an external agency to try and teach them, I think for me just translated, this is going to take much more of my time. It's going to be more work than help. I mean, I've been approached by dozens of lead generation companies in the past and worked with some in the past. And I knew that the cookie cutter approach that they usually take just wouldn't really work with us. But you guys struck the right balance. I mean, between personalization that's required for like a novel solution and very wide outreach. So did you overcome them? Yes, very much so. We were kind of surprised. I mean, fortunately, we were surprised, and I was, I'd say, wrong about assuming that that outbound would be another cookie cutter approach, because it was, yeah, I mean, just the communication, everything was exactly what we hoped for. The organization of it. So you made it very easy to get started, starting to get to know our buyer personas, the industry that we were working into, and messaging. I mean, you guys had a template that we just basically filled out in the beginning. I personally really appreciated you guys proposing some messaging that I could just go back and edit and trim up, and then that would go into the sequences. So I mean, once the campaigns launched and the cooperation began, I was really impressed by the low touch points and unneediness that you guys had. When your side had a question from a prospect that you wanted some help with, I would basically receive a GDoc in the morning with the questions clearly listed. It would take me maybe 10 minutes to fill that out, and then you guys were back to work. So those two things were very meaningful for us. Well, we weren't your first company, so you have this breadth of experience and insight of kind of pulling out the feedback. So the reports that you guys put together, I mean, we had end of week, a very short reporting meeting. Basically, we got to look at all of your numbers and the results. So the qualitative feedback that we got. So since we were kind of exploring new use cases, understanding if there's a product market fit here, understanding the words they were using, the pain points that they were revealing, and getting all of that, condensed in a report was incredibly useful. I mean, it let us know if our messaging was correct or needed to be adjusted. And of course, that fed back into sales conversations and even marketing. So that was incredibly helpful. Well, I'm looking for another excuse to give you guys more work. I mean, I really enjoyed it, but I mean, of course, each startup has different needs and are at different places. But maybe there are two situations which a company might want to consider working with you guys. The first one is you want to keep your core team small, but really want to scale the number of meetings you're getting. And maybe the second case is you want to explore a new use case for your product that may or may not be a fit. You're unsure if you should hire a full team of SDRs and just need conversations from decision makers in that market. I mean, we worked with Out to Bound at the enterprise level, getting C levels. We were very hesitant about, I think, putting people that weren't a part of our internal team on the enterprise prospects. But you guys nailed it. I mean, you got tons of meetings for us. So that would be the second case is if you need to explore a new market, maybe something that's untapped and are unsure about hiring others. I mean, you guys are the go-to guys for sure.